Shalom, my friends, especially those who I have seen in person. We're doing Bible study in 5 minutes. Maybe you'll join us. Maybe we'll talk about the Queen of Sheba from 1 Kings chapter 10. Maybe you'll only find out if you're here. Also, please join the link. I'm going to share the link. I like to talk to people. I don't like talking to myself. As much as I ramble on, I don't actually like talking to myself. So please come out. Please. Hello. What a great group of people. Cassandra has returned in glory. Yeah, great to see you, Cassandra. How are you? Were you so jealous of all of us who were meeting each other?
Incredibly. It was so, I guess FOMO. Because I watch you guys on stream sometimes, and I just have to sit there and type emails. Put numbers into an Excel sheet or something.
More than once. You know who Matt C is? Bald guy, comic artist, Floridian. More than once, I heard him describe Grim Grizz as svelte, like he's built, but specifically that wording. He's like, honestly, Grim is really in shape. That was like the first thing that surprised me. I'm like, man, this guy could punch me out real easy.
Did you go to the Midwestuary too?
Yeah. I went. I brought my wife. She was like one of the only girls. She loved it. Because you understand, Cassandra, you're the only girl in boy spaces.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's different when you're there in real life. I could just leave if I want here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she was stuck all weekend, but had a good time. Yoav, is that the Dome of the Rock behind you? Is there a reason you selected this? Why you have a mod? Who's that?
That's my mother, who's now turned 90. And it's sometime like the end of the 60s. And it is referring to something we read in the previous chapter about people walking over the temple and spitting and cursing and
Yeah,
that's not how my mother feels about the subject. I mean, she is not bothered by the status quo at all. I mean, that was the time that one could go freely and visit the place in a miniskirt. Don't know if you can do it nowadays.
Yeah.
But if just things were kept like they were in the end of the 60s, where you could just walk freely in the place and be a tourist, then nobody would have talked nowadays about building any temples.
Yeah. And we'd have so much more room in our garden if the seeds never became what they would become. That's how I think of, like, there's a conversation with Abraham in Genesis where God says, I can't issue judgment yet. They have to be ripe for it. Like, I have to wait for the sins of the Amalekites. We got to get to a point for it to be just in order for things to happen. It's still going to happen, but we have to wait. It's not justified yet, right? And I think about this because everyone talks about a previous generation as though they're not seeds that are in the dirt. You know what happens to seeds that are in the dirt, Yoav? They become plants. They don't stay seeds. So you point at this picture of your mother, and this is a seed generation, and you're the flower. And you go, oh, if only we could have stayed seeds. You can't stay seeds. Sorry, I'm not actually upset with you. There's other people that I feel make statements where I'm like, we still get here. It's like someone who hits play at the beginning of a movie and says, if only we stayed in the credits. Yeah, but you hit play. You hit play, we get to the end of the movie. Sorry. Matt.
Hello.
How are you?
Excuse me. Fine and dandy. I have like a full big boy, like fully like booked gig today. So you have my full attention for the first half an hour.
That's incredible.
And also I'm at the beach because that's where my gig is. Life is grand.
That's pretty cool. Here is at Takeoff, a unicorn that that Matt made for my wife as we're taking off from Chicago.
When they fly, the technical term is alicorn. When they have wings.
That's good.
If it's
That's
both,
very good.
this is what the kids tell me, man. You gotta keep
Yeah.
your ear to the ground about unicorn lore.
That's good. That's good. It's the people at customs were confused. The girls were jealous. I actually meant to ask you about this, and I don't think Bible study is the place to talk to you about it. Women seeing me with this were like, ooh. And I was just like, what is going on? So I am curious to what level of interest women have with you as a balloon artist.
It's a complicated multi-factor question. There's
yeah.
There's some boons and there's some things that do not help me at all in that area.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're very tall. Women dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How is this what you noticed? I saw David in one of Grimm's videos from Chicago. David is a man bold enough to wear pink socks. Absolutely.
I mean, I would be too if I was the kind of guy that wore socks.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. There was something I was going to say, and now I'm not going to say it. What a great time. Great. Glad everyone's here. We got to talk about the Queen of Sheba, which is going to be a good time.
I just wanted to mention in the last lines of last time, we were wondering where did King Solomon get the timber for the ship. It is still a puzzle to be solved. I have nothing to add about it, but it sort of it leaves the last chapter still open. And another thing that I think is related, the more I read into this story, the more Egypt there is in the story.
Yeah.
At first, I used to dismiss it like it's not relevant, like it's not in the main story, like it's a side note. But there's more Egypt in the story now than anything else. And the question is, where was Egypt a generation before? How come suddenly Egypt is all over the place? I'll keep my thoughts for myself at the moment, but it's an open question and it's an important question.
Yeah. I certainly feel it. I certainly feel that Egypt is just always looming over the Hebrew Bible. Okay. Jason,
yes,
come out, all right?
You're story, but you cannot navigate through the Red Sea without Egyptian consent.
Yeah. Which is what we hit last week. That's true. Look. Okay, I get you, Jason, but you need to make your point by showing up. I need Jason, you're bored. Your wife is gone. What are you doing? You should be at Bible study. I don't know who Daniel Boone is, really.
Because you're Canadian.
Okay, that's fine.
I barely know, but he's like one of those early like pioneer kind of guys who like skirts the line between like folklore and history.
Oh yeah.
He's like slightly more folklorist than Davy Crockett.
Okay.
And there's a series of like old like Disney cartoons where he would like he was able to like charm bears just by smiling at them.
It's bizarre how often things like this actually happen. We hit this when we were talking about magic before. He's out. He doesn't have good headphones. Fine.
Never stop me.
That's Dave. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go to the text. This is There's too many people coming in. I want you guys to come out by all means. I shared the link. We can talk, but we're going to hit the Queen of Sheba, and by the grace of God, you don't have to listen to me read. Cassandra, please.
Okay. Now, when the Queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to test him with hard questions. She came to Jerusalem with a very great retinue, with camels bearing spices and very much gold and precious stones. And when she came to Solomon, she told him all that was on her mind. And Solomon answered all her questions. There was nothing hidden from the king that he could not explain to her.
Okay, let's pause. So we have wonderful mansplaining occurring right here. He could explain what happened in the movie. She wasn't paying attention, but he was like, baby, this is what happened. Okay, Queen of Sheba, a very interesting character. I would be very interested to hear Yoav's thoughts on the geography, because the Queen of Sheba, look, if you want to be ripe for midrash, ripe for legends, what you do is you appear as though there's a huge story that we're just missing out on, and you don't explain it, right? And Sheba, Queen of Sheba, is one of these characters. Who is she? What is Sheba? Tell me about this. So you have theories. I'm going to make it bigger. You have theories that she's from Ethiopia. That's like a very popular one. So there's a ton of Ethiopian restaurants called Queen of Sheba. Michael Sartori has joined us. Some people think that it's Yemen. Yoav, do you have any theories about the Queen of Sheba?
I never come with theories prepared in advance. I read the text, and then I make my theories. Well, she comes with camels. You cannot come with camels from Ethiopia. Yemen, the only option is Yemen.
That's how you see it. Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's not she's not an Ethiopian queen, because it might be that Yemen were under an Ethiopian rule at the time.
Right. Yeah. Some of the bits that get brought forward is the use of spices, which Ethiopia is quite famous for and quite delicious. I don't know how you guys feel about Ethiopian food, but I really like it a lot. It's quite good. Quite good. And she shows up with riddles. That's another thing that I love, because the opening of Proverbs talks about understanding riddles, right? So she comes, I'm going to try to stump you.
And wisdom's personified as a woman in Proverbs.
Right. That baffles you. She baffles you.
Mm-hmm. Right. But this almost should be like a very heavy-handed poet saying, like, son, listen to your mom. Come on.
Yeah. This is what one of my favorite proverbs of all times is: there's 4 things I don't understand. I don't understand them at all. I don't understand snakes. I don't get birds. Boats don't make any sense. And a man with a virgin. Those are the things I don't understand. That's a list of 4. He says that, right?
Yes. I almost read that for my brother's wedding as the best man.
Yeah. Okay, lots of theories about who Queen of Sheba is. Michael Sartori, definitely a man who has theories. What do you got on Queen of Sheba?
I mean, I don't know who, like where she comes from or whatever, all that stuff, If Yoav says Yemen, that's good with me. But obviously, she's a smart lady, so. And despite what the manospheres like to think, high achieving men like competent women. So.
I accept. Yeah. I think I became a much more competent man because of my wife. She
that's normal.
Certainly pushes me.
Challenges you
Yeah, that's
Yes.
with riddles.
yeah. That's why
perhaps.
on Seinfeld, when George's fiance dies, and he finds out that all the women go nuts for him because it's the proof that he was once selected as adequate.
It's so yeah. I really do want to be found adequate. So much about Rastafarianism. Okay. Yeah. So one of the midrash is that she's an Ethiopian queen. Solomon hooks up with her, and the child, who is a direct descendant and therefore messianic possibility, goes to Ethiopia. Yeah. Okay.
That happened all the time in history. I mean, it is, for example, Queen Cleopatra.
Yeah.
She used to have a son, and she tried to smuggle him out of Egypt, and that is the route that it took down south.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else have anything they want to throw in? Cassandra, you and Matt, you guys haven't actually said anything on the topic.
I don't have anything to say yet. Kind of like just thinking of like how the like 2-3 weeks ago we got all in about like Solomon like being curious about animals and stuff. I kind of want to overlay like this passage on top of that passage and see
That's good.
what's similar versus dissimilar to those two lists. But I don't know. I'm waiting, letting the passage unfold a little bit more.
Okay. Cassandra, can you try to pick up if there's flirting occurring throughout this?
Well, that's obvious. Come on, man.
Is it? I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
It's Adam and Eve. It's Adam and Eve right here. That's what's going on.
Oh.
Hey, Yoav, could they have just taken a boat from Ethiopia and then get the camels in Yemen? I mean, is that like?
Well, yes, but it means that practically Yemen was either a close ally or under her rule, that it was just the next door neighbor. I would not distinguish between Yemen and Ethiopia politically.
Interesting.
Okay.
Sorry, I just want to mention it. In Ethiopian cuisine, I was at an Ethiopian wedding, and they had this. It's like a ground meat, but it isn't cooked. It's like a tartare, and it's made eatable by the amount of spice in it. It's spicy enough to kill salmonella, and it was good. It was very good. Hi, Jason. Muzzle tov. Congratulations.
Thank you. Let me know if my mic is freaking out.
It's good.
Is it working? Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
I think these have like noise canceling stuff. So sometimes when I try to get on with these headphones, it's just not, just doesn't work. So.
You sound great. You look more like a man.
Thank you.
What did you come to tell us?
Oh no, I was just joining. I like this part. I have lots of thoughts around Queen Sheba and Song of Songs and all of that stuff. Maybe I can bait Yosef in because I know we don't quite agree on things, but we've talked about it a lot before. So maybe he'll come in and correct me. But
Beautiful.
it's one of those things where I've said this before about Mary, and I know I'm not correct in the very physical sense, but I'll be like with Mary Magdalene, the Mother Mary, any other Marys in the gospel, I'm like, it's all the same Mary. So that's how I feel about the Queen of Sheba. I'm like, Bathsheba, the Queen of Sheba, the Shulamite woman, it's all the same woman. And I think it's supposed to at least be seen that way because there's kind of a connect the dots thing going with the sevens. It's just like over and over and over again to where I'm like, I have to be crazy to not notice this at this point. Because once I started noticing it, I was like, this seems too much.
Maybe it is not the same woman, but it's the women playing badminton with each other. Have you ever seen really
that
good
works.
people play badminton? It goes so fast. It's like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, right? Hitting
Yeah.
off of each other, sort of a thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's like I said, physically and historically, probably not the same woman, but like symbolically, or yeah, they're supposed to be like just really
Right.
quick, like a blending of them. Where
Right.
I think it is, even the word shalom means like rest, which has a connection to death and sleep and peace. And so I think that is, I mean, that is the womb. As the seed goes into the earth, it goes into the womb, it goes into the woman. So I think it is that mystery or that darkness is kind of what shalom. Sheba, the seven, like all of that, the seventh day. That's all. Like there's so much. There's just the connection with all of that. So even with like Adam, going back to Adam and connecting that to Solomon, and then you have the king of like the whole earth, whose his light is shining over all the realm. Everything is named. Then you have this feminine figure, this darkness that comes from the ends of the earth and starts questioning the names of things. And that's when the seed goes back into the womb. It's like you have a name, you have an identity, then it goes back into the womb, dies in there, and then is reborn, not as something different. Like it has the same name, but it's like more. So I think that's what she is ultimately symbolizing, like just sleep and death and everything. Like you were even talking about the previous generation. It's like you go back to the earth, like all the seed goes back to the earth and is born again through this questioning or unknowing of things. That's my thoughts around it in a nutshell.
That's a great introduction.
I have so missed you, Jason.
I know, right?
That's why I said in the comments, I was like, it's the story for me, because it's like the continuation of the story. Because once you have everything named, it's like you have the story laid out. It's like, then all of a sudden, then the questions kind of creep back in, and then keep the story going, or keep the seed. Yeah.
My mom is a Catherine, but goes by Kathy, and my wife is a Catherine as well. Like, there's, I get what you mean. There's a thing where people talk about the Marys as one as the bride and one as the mother, right?
Yeah,
and
like Mount Matspor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's even with the Mary, it's like you have Mary Magdalene, and there's supposed to be like this weird. There's weird like stories around it where like Jesus did take her as a wife and things like that, and you're like, okay, well that probably wasn't true, but then we still wait for Christ to take his bride, who is this basically harlot body of people that have committed harlotry, and he's trying to make them
the Samaritan woman is the setup of how Old Testament figures find their wives, right?
Yeah.
Man and woman talking at a well. I've seen this before. Like, let's get it on should be playing in the background, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Had a well.
Yeah. Cassandra, actually, you know what? Sandy, would you read for us? How about that? We're at verse 4.
Verse 4, sure. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all the wisdom of Solomon, the house that he had built, the food of his table, the seating of his officials, and the attendance of his servants, their clothing, his cupbearers, and his burnt offerings that he offered at the house of the Lord, there was no more breath in her.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah. If I'm looking for romantic undercurrents, that's great. Took her breath away.
I do not get it.
You don't get it?
The Queen of Sheba has visited Egypt before. It's not close to wherever she is to go and visit somewhere in Egypt. And any temple in Egypt will offer her the same splendor, if not much more.
So
But
let me throw something in there a little bit, because again, there's also some Adam and Eve subtext going on here, and you have her coming already with a breath or a spirit inside of her. This could be seen as some sort of like exorcism of Egypt, almost making space for the Hebrew breath of God to enter in.
Well, was it because he built it himself? Do you know?
Might be some of it.
No, here's the thing. You guys know, you've seen those obelisks they have in Egypt, like those huge obelisks.
Yeah.
That's overcompensation. So she was not impressed.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, maybe it's because he was building it, and so there was nothing, and then Solomon built all of this. That on added to like his wealth of knowledge and his wisdom.
Interesting. What's kind of hitting me as a possible option is growing up with Italians. Italians were well known. One of the reasons why they were the last people to be considered white is because they could get money, but they couldn't get class, right? So someone like just down the road from my parents, they got money. They had a huge house with these like cement fountains and cement statues that are supposed to be beautiful marble and smooth, but instead they look like dollar store versions of stuff, right? And so what I'm
Mediterranean
wondering,
rednecks.
yes, yeah. The Italians were considered that's great, Mediterranean rednecks. That's perfect, gorgeous, right? So you could have a people who are low in wealth, but could be advanced in other ways.
Is it also maybe in how he told the story? I was thinking that all through, even before we read those particular words. I kept thinking, what would it be that took her breath away? And as you're talking about, that sense of the Italians, the class, the lack of class, it's funny. I shared a story I wrote. It's not a story. It is. I shared one of my one of the things that I wrote in one of the discords. It was about something. It was about something, in a sense, very ugly that happened in my kitchen, but at the same time, it was about the beauty that I found in in the activities, washing the dishes and stuff. And it was about a whole lot of other stuff. And I shared it. And the weird thing was that I expected people to go, "You shouldn't write that. Oh, no, that's too sad." But the one answer I got back was beautiful. And I thought, how can you use the word beautiful to describe something traumatic that I just wrote?
Yeah.
But then I went back and read it and I went, So I'm reading kind of into this from that perspective of, maybe she's just seeing the greater beauty because of how he's like, she's been sitting asking him questions. You guys just finished reading. He answered every question that she brought with her. Everything that she came to ask him, he answered. And in the context of that, she's watching all the rest. This is now the rest of it, the stuff, the things that she's seeing. And it seems beautiful to her. It seems more amazing. It's taken her breath away. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I wonder about this understanding that we were talking about previously, that it talks about Solomon's wisdom as being all encompassing. And so there's advancements that occur in a civilization, not because of their material wealth, but because someone can bring them forward in a concept or in an idea that other people don't consider. And even like, maybe I really am projecting right now. Every now and then you meet people in history who feel like you could have a conversation, right? You have people who way before anyone else know that slavery is a bad idea, right? Like that the subjugation of Black people in the US is a horrible idea, but they have to wait a very long time to have their day in the sun, right? And so for a queen to be approaching this Israel king, there's many things that she could be amazed at, that there are things that for some reason we jump ahead. And it focuses within this passage on the fact that she's seen the house of Hashem, right? And so is it possible that there's something about their God and about the mentality that is existing in Israel that even though Egypt has more, it lacks something that Israel has? stunned into silence.
Took our
Okay.
breath away. I was just going to say, like, another way to kind of like look at this is almost like in the same way that in the Exodus you had a sort of divine power contest. Here you're having a wisdom contest, so you can kind of see her as like Pharaoh's magicians getting exhausted. Like there's this sort of this contest, this duel of sorts. It's like Bilbo and Gollum in Lord of the Rings, only in much higher class.
I love it. I like that a lot. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. We're going to continue. Oh, sorry. Was that Cassandra? Were you going to say something?
No, I don't have anything special to add. I was just thinking a comment that I've heard a lot from women is that men that they'll meet are kind of dry and don't have a good conversation. So I could understand the allure of someone who has a lot to say and can say it well.
You do this thing, Cassandra, where I say, do you have anything to comment? And you go, not really. And then you just drop gold. But you always preface gold by, it's not really. But here we are. That's very good. That's very good. Okay.
I just want to ask if I could read next.
Do you have a cold? Yeah. Speak.
Can you hear me better now? I'm speaking closer to the microphone.
You sound older.
Same Kirk.
He does. He's grown up. I'm used to it.
I might have a cold. I didn't take a thermometer, but I might have. But anyway, is it okay if I read next, or is my voice too much of a...
No, it sounds great. It sounds great. How old are you, Kurt?
17.
Yeah. This all checks out. You're becoming.
That's awesome. He's brilliant.
He's been
hanging around for a few years now, and I've always thought, man, that kid is way too smart for his age.
Yeah. Okay, Kirk, it's your turn to read.
Okay. Starting at number 6.
Yes, sir. I'm going to switch to that. I think you can get it. Okay, yeah.
And she said to the king, the report was true that I heard in my own land of your words and of your wisdom. But I did not believe the reports until I came and my own eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told. Your wisdom and prosperity surpassed the report that I heard. Happy are your men, happy are your servants, who continually stand before you and hear your wisdom. Blessed be the Lord your God, who has delighted in you and set you on the throne of Israel. Because the Lord loved Israel forever, he has made you king that you may execute justice and righteousness. Then she gave the king 120 talents of gold and a very great quantity of spices and precious stones. Never again came such an abundance of spices as these that the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's pause there. Talk to me, Yoav. I know Yoav, I can tell when he's boiling. Oh, you're muted, my friend.
Oh.
Politics does not work this way. This is not how a queen comes to visit a king. First, there's the question of hostages. Solomon would have to send hostages to Sheba in order to guarantee his good conduct while she comes to visit him.
Yeah.
It just...
It's not a political thriller. It's a rom-com.
Yeah, I accept it as a love story. As a historical report, it leaves so much unsaid. But I'm not boiling. I'm enjoying the story.
Good. Are there other things that have been laid out that demand to be answered?
So, I mean, we've been poking a lot at the fact that there's a sort of like Pharaoh element that is emerging in Solomon's kind of character, some of the things he's doing. And yet her account here seems to belay that. Like on the surface, he's using Pharaoh logic, but your workers are happy. They feel good. They feel glad. They feel blessed to be a part of what you're doing here. Now, this could be the propagandist author of Kings talking here, but I don't know.
Well, it said that none of the Israelites were slaves, but then after he dies, they go to his son and says, "Your father was harsh on us." So that's something interesting. I'm kind of confused between those two things.
That's great. That's really good, Cassandra. I never connected it with that bit. Yeah, more people talk because I'm gonna throw in. Obviously, I have thoughts, but sorry, Sandy. Do you have anything? No.
Nope.
Okay, then Matt, go.
Yeah, just the idea that, like, I think Jesus affirms it, like, wisdom is known by her children, and the fact that she's noticing not just, you don't just talk a good game, but like it's descended out, and like it's how your people behave. They are participating in your flourishing. It's not something you keep to yourselves. It's something that's embodied in your worship. It's something that's embodied in your, I don't know, like the domestic politics of your day. It's, I don't know, she could be marveling at sort of like the coherence of his society, this particular moment in history. Like the top and the bottom are pretty well meshed together. They're in sync.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. Mr. Sartori, is that a guy with a surfboard? Yeah, I think it is.
Paddleboard.
Okay. Sartori? Oh, no, he walked away. Of course, that's when I ask his opinion. Cool Kid Kirk, hidden in the shadows.
I don't have anything.
Okay. All right, that's all right. So I'm going to, even part of why I said Yoav is boiling is because I could feel the propaganda. Blessed be Hashem, your God, who has delighted in you and set you on the throne of Israel. Because Hashem loved Israel forever, he has made you king, that you may execute justice and righteousness. This is really, really establishing the kingdom, right? It's a look. It wasn't even a Jew who said it. This random foreign queen, she came and she stated it as definitely true, right? Like the endorsement factor of that. And it is very interesting, Sandy, because interesting, Cassandra, I should say. It's very interesting, Cassandra, because the next chapter is, the title is like, look, okay, I'll show it to you right here. You go to the next chapter, Solomon turns from the Lord, right? Like everything, we talked about this before. Solomon's good, then Solomon sucks, right? And he's a complex figure, and it's a good time, and then it's going to go to pot. It's going to go real bad. And right now, it's very much exactly what Matt is saying. Deuteronomy 4, the nations are seeing what can be accomplished is it's incredible, and everything's going to fall apart. And I mean, maybe it's even the taxing system, because like the income tax was introduced to help fight World War I, right? And then as soon as that's done, we'll stop doing it, right? But then, oh, we have another reason. Okay, cool, I get it. Oh, we still have a reason, and it just never goes away. The structure becomes bigger and bigger, and so right now, it makes sense that taxes are high. It makes sense. They're building something. But as his life goes on, those taxes are no longer being spent on the house of the Lord. They're being spent on the house of Dagon. They're being spent on all the houses of all of his other wives and all those other gods, right? And so the same system, if it continues forever, is corrupt. Sorry, that's my set of thoughts. I don't know if this makes sense, or if I'm asking too much.
Yeah, maybe that's why his people were unhappy with him once he died. Things just kind of kept going in a downward spiral past a certain point.
Yeah, and they sense that.
Yeah. It is interesting the way they structure it, because it's not chronological. It does seem like things are good, and then when they get older and comfortable, there's a slip up that happens. They lose sight of things, and then they kind of get, I guess, complacent, maybe something like that, like Solomon with all his wives, and then turning to their gods.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Give me your thoughts, Yoav, on this. Are women even allowed in Jewish politics? What even is diplomacy?
Too many questions. First question: do you remember Golda Meir?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the answer is yes.
I think he's wondering maybe about the text in the time period. People take a current view of gender relations and they just assume it was getting more conservative the further back you go.
Well,
Doesn't always work that way.
may
Sorry.
I give a crack at this, Yoav?
Yep.
Yeah.
What about Judge Deborah? Wasn't she a judge?
Yep.
Okay.
Good job.
So
Yeah.
so
The
Judaism
one.
is not like Islam when it comes to women.
She was the only one, though. So it seems like there's something particular, too. Like, I don't know, just like with Moses and stuff, like when you kind of see women come into the picture more, sometimes it's during certain kinds of times, a certain part of the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you also have like a really prominent role for the Queen Mother in the divided kingdom of Judah. She keeps popping up significantly. It's there's something if it's something that's so obviously a part of the culture, it's not worth mentioning in your text because everyone knows it's true.
That's a great perspective. I'm just going to put this question out there and not answer it. What would the Queen of Sheba desire? I'm going to throw extra weight on desire. Move my eyebrows every time I say it. Okay, I'm going to jump back into the text unless anyone has anything else they want to say first. Kurt just finished. Cassandra, you read twice? So I'm going to say Sandy? That feels right.
Moreover, the fleet of Hiram, which brought gold from Ophir, brought from Ophir a great amount of almug wood and precious stones. And the king made of the almug wood supports for the house of the Lord, and for the king's house, also lyres and harps for the singers. No such almug wood has come to be seen to this day. And King Solomon gave to the queen of Sheba all that she desired, whatever she asked besides what was given her by the bounty of King Solomon. So she turned and went back to her own land with her servants.
Cool. I have nothing to add there, except I have no idea what almug wood is.
Hasn't been seen to this day, so
That's why. Yeah. To fulfill this passage. I have not seen it to this day, in fact. No such almug wood.
Yeah, the modern Hebrew word is useless in this context.
Yeah, which I assume means we don't know what it actually is. It is a valuable, aromatic, and fine-grade wood mentioned in the Bible, primarily 1 Kings 10 and 2 Chronicles 9. While its exact botanical identification is debated among scholars, it is most likely red sandalwood, due to its characteristics and origin. The wood was used for making musical instruments, such as lyres and harps, and for adorning the temple and palaces in Jerusalem. Awesome. Thank you, Internet. Does anyone have anything else to throw in at that part? Then we continue. Kirk, read on.
Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 666 talents of gold, besides that which came from the explorers and from the business of the merchants and from the kings of the west and from the governors of the land. King Solomon made 200 large shields of beaten gold, 600 shekels of gold went to each shield, and he made 300 shields of beaten gold, 3 minas of gold went into each shield. And the king put them in the house of the forest of Lebanon. The king also made a great ivory throne and overlaid it with the finest gold. The throne had 6 steps, and the throne had a round top. And on each side of the seat were armrests and 2 lions standing beside the armrest, while 12 lions stood there, one on each end of a step on the 6 steps. The like of it was never made in any kingdom. All King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, and all the vessels of the house.
Sorry, let's pause 1 second. Let's pause 1 second because there's a lot that was covered within there. Very good. 666, fun number. I know as Jacob is watching, obviously Christians are going to overread into that. What are you going to do? What's interesting, and this should be noted, is that gold is a great metal to work with because it's very soft. It's easy to work with, but as a result, it is terrible for making weaponry and shields. It is bad for such things. So these items are symbolic, or they're for ritual purposes, or there's something very cool about it. Like if you go to Vatican City, there are guards, and those guards are Swiss guards, and they're wearing, they have what's it called, halberds, right? That's not a good weapon for modern day, right? If someone at one point they were real guardsmen, but now if you were trying to break in and you brought a shotgun, that thing is terrible, right? And so gold, I don't know what is happening with these items. Go ahead.
There's other ones with guns. They are actually trained. They are they just put the guys with the halberds and the ones where it's like nobody's gonna, like, you have to already get by the ones you don't see to get to those guys. So
yes, but the ones that you see, that's symbolic.
They can still beat you up.
Yeah. But they also fulfill some sort of a symbolic role, right? So the gold shields, and they're put in something called the House of the Forest of Lebanon. I don't know what this is. House of the Forest of Lebanon, and
Isn't
then you
that
have
his
this
palace? That's his palace, isn't it?
Well, so that's what the question is, because you use certain terms and then you switch terminology, and I'm supposed to follow, which is fine.
I know. The Forest of Lebanon just makes me think of, what was his name?
Humbaba.
Yeah.
The guardian of the cedar forest.
Okay. Oh yeah, Cedars of Lebanon. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I always think of.
It is. So if you look it up, it says the House of the Forest of Lebanon was a large, impressive building within King Solomon's palace complex in Jerusalem.
Oh.
And it was given the look of a forest. It was given a forest-like appearance. But even if you were looking at that image, I am really much thinking about what Yoav has said about this is a woman coming from Egypt and all these other things. I haven't seen anything like this, right? How big do you make these lions? How big do you make it to make it impressive? Right? That's the image I used when talking.
Would that have been his goal, to outdo Egypt?
That's a good question.
You choose a game you know you can win.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like Egypt is definitely the thing of like, this is what the other guys ruling their nations are going to be impressed by, because it's always just about like having bigger and bigger stuff. Like, let's just make an even bigger triangle, like over and over again. But like, Solomon's got more taste, so like that's why it's more impressive or whatever.
Yes.
Math.
Michael, I hope you were not offended when I spoke of the Italians as low class.
That's fine.
You don't disagree? Okay.
My low class relatives are much better people than my high class relatives, so it doesn't bother
Well,
me.
that's, yeah. Yep.
I mean, Italian lives matter.
Please, Kirk, no. Let's not make this political. I think we're at the drinking vessels. Sandy, tell me about these drinking vessels.
Okay. All King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, and all the vessels of the house at the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver. Silver was not considered as anything in the days of Solomon, for the king had a fleet of ships of Tarshish at sea with the fleet of Hiram. Once every 3 years the fleet of ships of Tarshish used to come, bringing gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks.
Love it. That's such a great collection.
Yeah.
Apes.
Apes.
Yes.
It brought
Let's
apes.
Solomon excelled with. Do you want to stop and talk about the apes?
Does anyone want to talk about the apes and the peacocks?
Wow.
Gold's coming in. Silver is like nothing.
I ran into some peacocks on Vancouver Island. They are ornery birds.
Are they? I did not know that.
They are.
There's a giant park in the middle of Victoria, and they just roam free, and they let you know when you step on their toes.
Yes. They roamed free in my grandmother's backyard, and we had many warnings because they liked sneaking under the fence from the hospital located behind her fence.
Oh.
The text note says it may not be peacocks. It might be baboons.
Well, that's a big difference.
I think they are also ornery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandy, Jason is in the race for something apparently because you voted so many times. I don't know for what. But this was his encouragement to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They are pests infesting. My sister used to go to a Buddhist school, and they had peacocks roam around too, but they were nice to us.
Yeah. Oh, they're very pretty, but when you want to go to the bottom of your grandmother's yard and you're only allowed to go halfway down in case the peacocks are owning the space.
Are they delicious? Could this be solved through eating?
Only if you can catch them first.
One of my old roommate's dogs seems to think so. He used to have peacocks for neighbors, and they learned to stay on their side of the fence after they met Rufus.
Whew. That's amazing. Okay.
Comment. What is a ship of Tarshish? Some say that they are ships coming from the city of Tarsus. And then you can find the city of Tarsus in Turkey, or you can find one in Spain. But it doesn't make sense that a ship from Tarsus will bring monkeys. So some say that some kind of a big ship.
Say, isn't Tarshish kind of shorthand for the other side of the world? I mean, that's where Jonah was trying to sail to.
No, there is a city of Tarsus in Turkey. Why not go there?
I'm sure there's an actual city, but it's also sort of like the symbolic idea of like about as far away as you can get and still be in civilization.
Yeah, it could mean by extension that the ship of Tarshish is some kind of a ship that can go really a long, long way. Could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like how the U.S. they name their two different types of submarines after states or cities, depending on how big they are. So like the boomers are all named after states, like the USS Maine and whatnot, and the smaller, faster ones are named after cities, like the Indianapolis.
We
Sort
do
of a
know
Tarshishian ship.
that you could actually have not only beautiful things, but apes and peacocks together in this ship.
The lion will lie down with the lamb, and the ape with the peacock.
I don't know which one would be the lamb in that scenario.
Or apparently the ape and the baboon.
Yeah, ape and baboon. Which to me, one is just like a baboon is just an ape in drag, isn't it? Isn't that all it is?
What is like the gift, like the animal gift you give for somebody that you hate? I don't know if it's like a hippo or something like that. It's
A
something where it's
white
just like
elephant.
that's
I would
it,
give
that's
a
it, that's
bird.
it. Yeah.
White elephant, yeah. Which Yoav in a previous Bible study referred to the temple as a white elephant,
Right.
and I was delighted.
To be exact, I was referring to Solomon's speech explaining why, to his opinion, it's not a white elephant.
Okay, yes. It was on topic. It was good.
Yeah.
People should go back.
I mean, you could also call like the Covenant a white elephant.
The Covenant is a bit of a white elephant. Really wonderful to have. Very difficult to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Who
Well, you're
read?
completely off topic, David, and have lost the train of thought. What is not a white element is our lovely Jason's request to please go and vote for them.
Yeah.
What is this? Where?
Amazing people.
Can
Where are we
you,
voting?
Jason? Can you share the link for this thing that people can click on in order to vote for you guys as a couple? I don't know what it is. It sounds like some sort of contest. Okay. Cassandra, you are still paying attention. I know you are.
Yes.
I think we're here. Please
Okay.
read.
Thus King Solomon excelled all the kings of the earth in riches and in wisdom. And the whole earth sought the presence of Solomon to hear his wisdom, which God had put into his mind. Every one of them brought his present, articles of silver and gold, garments, myrrh, spices, horses, and mules, so much year by year. And Solomon gathered together chariots and horsemen. He had 1,400 chariots, 12,000 horsemen, whom he stationed in the chariot cities and with the king in Jerusalem. And the king made silver as common in Jerusalem as stone. And he made cedar as plentiful as the sycamore of the Shephelah. And Solomon's import of horses was from Egypt and Kew. And the king's traders received them from Kew at a price. A chariot could be imported from Egypt for 600 shekels of silver, and a horse for 150. And so through the king's traders, they were exported to all the kings of the Hittites and the kings of Syria.
I just have to say it before we mention anything else. The horses from Egypt are specifically stated because they're specifically warned about. You will not go back to Egypt to get horses from there. Okay? That's the one. You are warned about doing that as a bad omen, as a bad sign. So that may sound like nothing to you, but it sounds like nothing to you in the way that a black cat it's just a cat. Why is a black cat walking by a bad omen? Because it is. Because we know it is, and it's a warning. So in the same way a black cat is a bad omen, getting ships from Egypt, that's a bad omen. Things are all about to fall apart.
Except that Egypt is not host country. From when since Egypt is known for its fine horses?
The only thing I have to say about this is I didn't know. I thought there was in both Judaism and Christianity were explicitly against omens.
I mean, okay, it's specifically against the law in Deuteronomy for the king to do this.
Yeah.
I don't mean, I don't literally mean an omen. I'm sorry for using that term.
I wonder if Solomon is still rewriting. Oh, what was it? They had to rewrite the entire text in their own hand.
Yeah.
The entire
Word
law.
for word. Jason is back.
Better headphones, hopefully.
Okay.
And I took a shower.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Sandy posted the link in the comments. Yeah, go vote, everybody.
Yeah, I posted the wrong link and I don't know how to delete it, but then I posted the correct one. But not on both channels. Why not? Oh, well, okay.
Okay, so only he must not acquire many horses. So this is the first bit of warning. I will set a king over you, like all the nations that are under me. You may indeed set a king over you, whom Hashem your God will choose. One from among your brothers you shall set as king over you. You may not put a foreigner over you who is not your brother. Only he must not acquire many horses for himself or cause the people to return to Egypt in order to acquire many horses. Since Adonai has said to you, you shall never return that way again. And he shall not acquire many wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor shall he acquire for himself excessive silver and gold. Does this sound familiar?
Whoops.
Do you see what I mean,
how much
Kurt?
is excessive?
Let's say if you had so much gold that it was counted as nothing in those days, which is what it has just said in our passage.
You asked, do I see what you mean?
Yeah. You see what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think omen was the wrong term. You're right. But it should, I think it's kind of clear, like, oh yeah, this is bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a sign.
I mean, there's the term foresight, but yeah.
Well, and the text seems written to specifically be poking you to know Deuteronomy. It's not made independent of Deuteronomy because it's saying, it's letting you know why everything's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't just fall apart. It's saying he's become like Egypt. He's gotten horses from Egypt, which is, I really like what Yoav was saying, because it's even worse if Egypt doesn't have great horses and they're getting horses from Egypt, then it's like almost only there because of disobedience. It's great. Sartori.
Yeah, I think he does it on purpose. That's my whole thing. So, okay, so here's the thing. Obviously Solomon has all this success and he's a great king and everybody loves him. And, there is a messianic expectation. So naturally, people would see Solomon fulfilling a lot of those things. Now, if Solomon's the wisest person, he's going to realize I'm not the Messiah before most of the other people do. And then to communicate that reality, he's going to do something that the Messiah wouldn't do, which is a signal for him not to imitate. Now, this is what all the kings that aren't messiahs end up doing in some sense, but we talk for the rest of the book, going forward about the sins of Jeroboam. So he didn't do that. We don't talk about the sins of Solomon because they're not as bad as the sins of Jeroboam when he puts up, golden golden calves. So it's like to me, it seems like I think Solomon is smart enough to figure this out. Because I also think like Ecclesiastes is him. I think that is his repentant disclosure, towards the end of his life, where he says, "Hey, I've tried all this stuff, all the women, all the riches. It's not where it's at." Like, So I think but this is, that's sort of like I don't know, maybe I wonder if it was like released like after his death or something, where that letter comes from. But this is like his public sign that, he's that the path to like being the greatest king or whatever is not simply to just take like Solomon's template and extend it further with more money, more riches, whatever. It's like he took all that stuff to the limit. So it shows people like, that's like an element of what it means, like to have like, a fulfilled like kingdom, but it's not like the whole thing, like something beyond riches. And so it points people back towards the spiritual.
That's interesting.
That's my theory. Yeah.
I like it. Anybody else? That is very good. Thank you for sharing. Yon God's soul dies a little every time. Okay.
Every time we discuss the fall of a great man.
Yanni believes that Solomon is Trump, if you remember.
Oh, Solomon's Trump too?
Yeah. That's something that's come up recently.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
It is interesting because in the chapter they talk about how rich it is. So you could almost think that this is the best time, right? Like his story is going well. But it is just the setup.
Yeah, it's a literary trope where in order to have a character fall, like you want to present, especially in tragedies, you present them as like the best so that you can have this like tragic story. You can see how far they fall, right? But you need to put them up there in order to see that.
I think it is a big difference of like the question is does the person believe that of themselves? Because I think the most dangerous leaders is the ones who believed in their own, infallibility or whatever, like, and if you don't, then you do kind of want to like you do want to dissuade people from making a cult of personality around you. Like that's the wise thing to do.
That's good.
I
don't know how I feel about Solomon. As much as I really like your humble guys, it's not me. That's why I'm breaking the commandment in Deuteronomy. It feels just too human. It just.
I like Solomon. He's my favorite. I guess besides Jesus, if you know.
Well, shouldn't Moses be your favorite besides Jesus?
His favorite
You like Moses
Messiah,
better?
Kirk. It's his
Yeah.
favorite Messiah.
I don't know what it is. I've always liked him ever since I was little. Like that chapter 3 where he asked for wisdom. Ever since I was little, I love that.
Does your wife know that you're building your life after Solomon?
Yeah, I mean, I have. Can you read that? All is heaven.
Well,
we got that tattoo
yeah.
together. Well, hers says this is temporary, but I spelt it wrong. That's that one.
I mean, the big thing is like so many people. How come so many people are? What? Oh.
He got a tattoo that says this is temporary.
I can guarantee you, King Solomon did not have any tattoos.
How do you know? He just didn't have any for the dead. That was the rule.
No, I'm pretty sure Judaism is pretty clear that Jews are not supposed to get tattoos.
Is that? I thought it was just don't tattoo yourself for the dead. Something like that.
That's what it says. That's what it says. So
What can I
Well,
do
he
now?
probably had a
Really?
few wives that had tattoos, so
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
that might have influenced it.
they got tattoos together.
um,
Yeah.
I knew a heretic who got the command against tattoos, like Leviticus, tattooed on him, like actually just the verse.
That's great.
So that people would say, "What does that verse say?" It says you're not allowed to get tattoos.
That's fun.
He was a heretic. Yeah. Anyway, I don't
we
like
all-
him.
I don't like it.
I don't like him. I'm just gonna
Is that
be.
bad?
Yeah. If this might only mean something to Sandy, but it's a dude named Bruxy Cavey. Bruxy Cavey had that, and that guy,
I don't like him.
yeah,
No, it's a troublemaker.
he's not a good dude, and
Did
I'll
it-
just say that.
I missed a little portion. Did it say in there that the silver, I think it says, can't be counted? What did it say about the bronze? Did it comment on that at all?
No, that's in another section.
Okay.
You're talking about the making of the house and the temple.
God, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
you
it
s-
it says it again. I think when at the end when the whatever Nebuchadnezzar comes and something about the bronze can't be counted, but
Yeah.
this just says silver's like rocks. It's just like
Who cares?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
No.
kind of I found it is a little disappointing. I had bought this gold coin off my grandmother, and then with the wedding coming up, I was like, you're kind of scraping around for money and stuff. And I wasn't going to do anything with it. I was just like, oh, I need to find that gold coin. I can't find it. And then somehow I found a silver coin I had. And then just looking at that, I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. Like, you look up the value of silver, and I'm like, it's not even close to the value of gold. It's just like rocks. What can I do with this? I can't even buy my groceries with this silver coin. It's a little disappointing.
Love it.
I had a buddy in grad school who was very into like silver minerals and stuff like that, and he realized that I think up until like 1940, quarters had like some trace amounts of silver in it. So he would go to the bank with like $500, and he'd be like, "I want all of your quarters," and then spend the weekend filtering through them to find the ones that had trace amounts of silver.
Whoa. Was it
Yeah.
worth it?
His time,
Well, I guess
absolutely
because you
not.
still have,
Absolutely
you still
not,
have
but-
quarters, I guess.
Yeah, I think he paid his kids a couple of quarters to start sifting through it, but
That's fun.
hey, it's a different way of painting for gold or silver.
Yeah, I'd like gold painting. I just don't know where to do it, and it doesn't really work out
Text
for me.
me. I'm tapped into a family of geologists. We can help you out.
What? Okay, that's.
I've
good.
heard that about like pennies, that pennies contain more than a penny worth of
Yeah,
of
they're
metal.
and before a certain date.
Didn't-
Yes.
We're discontinuing them now in the U.S. I think.
Yeah.
Canada has
Good
long
riddance.
discontinued. A penny, it's as nothing now. In the days of Trump, in the
Yeah.
days of Trump, a penny was like nothing.
Well, it's been that way for a while. They're a net energy negative. They cost more to produce than they're worth.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
Yeah, a solid copper penny is worth about 2 cents. It's about 2 cents worth of copper.
wow.
So
One more
So,
thing
yeah,
about
it's like 1984, 85, I think, or 86. Anything before that, keep it if you find one.
what I was gonna say before we. I don't know if you're done with the text for today.
I'm done with the text.
Okay. Other thoughts I have around it that aren't really pinpointed on anything, but just growing up, like I grew up very Protestant, I guess. I'll just give them all my whole backstory. I have an echo, but anyway, the just reading the text, that was one thing I got from my church was like it kind of disregards translation and all those issues. It's just like this is the word of God. It's eternal. This is like factual and everything. So going from that perspective, it gets really difficult reading the Bible and not looking into symbolism, because at some point you're like, oh, well, if this is true and always true, it has to kind of like echo on if God said this. So then even things with like the silver and the gold and all of that, it kind of transcends the physical object, if that makes any sense. So when I'm reading it, like I think of like with Matt, you being in geology and stuff, like certain rocks and metals have like a personality to him, like a spiritual essence or something. It's like even like the why does a silver bullet kill a werewolf? It's like there's a reason for that and things like that. And so when I don't really know what to say about it, I just think about those things with like the silver being counted as rocks at that point.
Well, so I think
I got
the
a really
way
good one for that, but
you can go ahead, Michael.
Sure. So it's in. So it's what is it in? It's Second Timothy, whatever, where Paul says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Uh-huh.
It's the love of silver, specifically.
That's
But which used to be it's synonymous, but we've just started translating it as money when it did mean something more specific. When and I actually talked to a scholar about this, who wrote a book about that book. She studies Greek and stuff, because he's writing to Ephesus, where they have that thing with all the silversmiths in the book of Acts 19. Like the silversmiths get mad because they're like, this Christianity is gonna ruin our business. So there is some things there, I think.
Yeah,
and like silver's not like an inherent store of value, so it's more coinage. Like gold is valuable and scarce, whereas silver is, because it's far more common.
Well,
and I'm
it's
just
also
spitballing here, but the difference between inherent value versus like market economy stuff.
Yeah, just like
it's
it goes. Oh, I was just gonna say like the with silver too, like the different like light planets are associated with different metals too.
Elements.
The moon.
Yeah.
Well, so what I was going to say, Jason, was that I think I was watching a Jonathan Peugeot video, which was talking about something similar to this, where he said that Peugeot was saying that the question of how to interpret biblical symbolism is based on a faulty premise between literal and figurative, because something can be literal in a context, but we have to understand our terms. So, for example, he brought up this idea of God creating the universe in 6 days, and he said, "Is this literal or figurative?" Well, he said, it's in a sense literal, but he said the literality is basically creating in 6 days. 6 days in the Bible is basically at the time in biblical context of change and what time meant back then is different from time in the contemporary time. So basically, what he said was not necessarily that we should read things as not literal, but if we're going to read something as literal, we have to understand that the connotations things had back in the day were different than they had in modern connotations.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, this is all good, but I need to get going, so I'm going to do a zoom through. Jason, you already gave your bit. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So
I don't have anything else.
You've been
go vote for me. Go vote for me.
Vote for Jason.
That's why he's here. He's campaigning and glad handing. That's it.
I feel that Yoav has been sitting patiently, listening to Christians babble on, just yap. Tell us something. I like that you're sitting specifically so that we can see your mother. Oh, no, that's not the one I wanted. I got to put you over there. So please, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'll repeat how I opened the chapter. I think the way I read this chapter, it's all about Egypt. The hero of the story here is Egypt, not Solomon and not Israel.
Mm-hmm.
But to relate to what you said, is it just allegory? Is there any of what we read in the chapter actually physically true? Was there gold? Was there silver? Were there horses? If I was there, could I count the chariots? Or is it just a story that we can improve our way learning from it, but of no... Again, it's the question of reality. But I'm really talking about reality in the physical sense. And I'm asking myself, can any of this be true? And of course, it doesn't make sense. The visit of the queen doesn't make sense. All the presents that King Solomon is receiving from all over the world, this is not how people behave. People just don't come from all over the world and give you presents, very expensive presents, just because you're nice and wise and beautiful. It never happened. It never will happen. So what was going on here? And I will not go into any detail, but I'm saying it's all about Egypt. If instead of Solomon you read Egypt, suddenly it's possible, it's feasible. That's all I want to say.
That's good. I'm glad that you represent that opinion on this channel. You're like, even as I was reading, I'm like, that's why I said Yoav is fuming or boiling, I think is what I said. Thank you. Cassandra, your words, your thoughts. Please, before you say anything, can you please say, I have nothing to contribute? Sorry, go ahead.
I really don't, though. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I'm trying to think about the whole story because I don't know. I mean, Egypt is a big part of it, right? You can't get Egypt out of Israel. So you have all these problems. I don't know if I have much to say except I prefer gold because it doesn't break me out. Because inferior metals give me rashes. So
that's great. Great point.
That's the only thing I have to add.
Sandy. Let's bring Sandy over here. Sandy, there you are.
I'm sorry. I have no idea how to follow that.
That's good. All right. You don't have to follow. You can just laugh. I like you just laughing as a response.
We're just going to keep
Matt, do you have anything else you want to throw in?
No, just to dive back to the beginning and note that what Jason had to say about like the Shebas and the Bat-Shebas in the Old Testament potentially becoming, or the seed that becomes Mary the New is something I'm going to be ruminating on for a while. That's interesting.
Luke says, I've met David's wife a lot of internalized misogyny. My wife would laugh very hard at that comment. Okay. Sartori.
Well, I would just like to say that a lot of people like to say this thing that to me sounds like Solomon was the wisest guy, but I'm wiser than him. What happened here?
I get you. That's a good point. That's a very good comment.
And I have the humility to not do that. So I try to have the humility to not do that. So I don't know. I just am trying to like actually honor the Bible where it says that he was like the wisest man ever. That I'm not going to side with all the people that tell me about why he was obviously an idiot.
Right. Interesting. Cool Kid Kirk.
Nothing in particular that hasn't already been said.
Wonderful. Well then, my friends, this is the end. This was a lovely group of people, including those who are only viewing from online. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit confused why I thought Jacob was on vacation. Why he's in the chat? I mean, Jacob, not Jason.
Yeah, he does this. He watches.
I know, but how? I thought he was on vacation.
Yeah, this is something he would do on vacation as well. He was from the Great Salt Lake yesterday streaming, so people could talk to him. I also want to say sorry, not to promote my own channel, but I'm going to. I have my own channel, which is called Fully Alive, which I'd love to see more people out there, because I think in the future I might do more things that are not for Jacob's channel. So please look up my name and Fully Alive, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
Fully Alive does not have ads. Wow.
David, I put comments on your channel when I wasn't ever able to be there one week, and you did not put the little heart next to them or respond to my comments. So
Oh
you want to be
no!
responsible for a
Ooh.
channel, you got to put in the work.
Oh no!
Bad channel host.
Okay, I'll do it. I'm sorry. Okay, I have to go. I've been shamed, which is an excellent way to end Bible study. So thank you, my friends. I'll talk to you guys next week. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Okay.
Goodbye.